I think it's time for some power rankings.
Window of opportunity for this Falcons team to give him that trophy is now. And Kirk Cousins is the now guy.
We're officially in the new league year. Let's dive into our 2024 NFL post-free agency power rankings. Number 32, Carolina Panthers, last time's ranking 32. Losing Brian Burns via trade with the Giants for pennies stung big time. Throwing the departures of Frankie Louvu and Year Gross Matos, and it's hard to guess just how much worse this defense can be in 2024. On the bright side, Bryce Young has a new weapon following the trade acquisition of ex-Steelers wideout Deontay Johnson. The signings of Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis, albeit pricey, do shore up a leaky offensive line. Number 31, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 31. Mac Jones is gone, and old friend Jacoby Brissett was brought back on a one-year deal, giving the Pats a serviceable option regardless of what they do with the number 3 pick. The Pats retained Hunter Henry and Mike Onwenu, then got offensive weapons Antonio Gibson, KJ Osborne, and Austin Hooper on cheap deals. It's been a pretty solid offseason thus far, but there is still plenty of work to do. Number 30, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 26. Denver released Russell Wilson and took on $85 million in dead money. Star wideout Jerry Jeudy was traded to Cleveland for pennies, and all-pro safety Justin Simmons was released in a cap-saving move. But hey, if this is how Sean Payton wants it, are they already tanking for the first overall pick in 2025? Sure feels like it. Number 29, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 27. We love the trade for Brian Burns to bolster an already stout front seven, but replacing Saquon Barkley with Devin Singletary just does nothing to make this offense better. Joe Shane's biggest free agency move thus far was signing ex-Packers offensive lineman John Runyon to a $30 million deal. With the number 6 pick in this year's draft, you gotta think that the G-men are going receiver, right? Number 28, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 29. Losing Derrick Henry and Danico Autry in free agency really hurts, but Rand Carthen made up for it by winning the Calvin Ridley sweepstakes. Bringing in two-time 1,000-yard rusher Tony Pollard to replace Henry was a steady piece of work, as was the pickup of ex-Broncos center Lloyd Cushenberry. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 30. The Cardinals have bolstered their defense by signing Justin Jones, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Bilal Nichols, and Mac Wilson, none of whom cost more than $31.165 million. So, yeah, very savvy offseason work thus far. If they stay at number 4, the Cardinals will get Marvin Harrison Jr., Romo Dunze, or Malik Neighbors, all of whom are very solid pickups. Number 26, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 21. It's been an up-and-down offseason for Minnesota this far. I mean, losing Pro Bowl QB Kirk Cousins and star edge rusher Danielle Hunter are tough pills to swallow, but there have been some positives. Sam Darnold is a fine bridge QB option on a one-year deal, and hey, who knows? Jonathan Bernard, Andrew Van Winkle, and Blake Cashman were quality additions to the new-look defense. Now, and getting ex-Packers star running back Aaron Jones on a one-year deal? Jackpot! Number 25, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 28. The big prize is what will come with the number 2 pick. Either Jaden Daniels or Drake May. But it's already been a near-flawless offseason for the new Commanders regime. Their hapless defense has been bolstered by the signings of Dorrance Armstrong, Frankie Louvu, Jeremy Chin, and Bobby Wagner. Getting a third-rounder from Seattle for Sam Howell? And a single word, coup. Number 24, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 24. The Raiders' big move was landing ex-Dolphin star Christian Wilkins to a 4-year, $110 million deal. I mean, come on. Wilkins and Max Crosby work in the trenches together? Terrifying thought. We know. Vegas also got a cheap replacement in Gardner Minshew II, who is, at worst, a bridge QB if Aiden O'Connell isn't up for the challenge. Number 23, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 18. Seattle cut safeties Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. Are they sure that Julian Love and Rayshon Jenkins will be able to be a better duo? Also, the shaky O-line lost Damian Lewis. Getting Jerome Baker on a one-year deal was nice and all, but it doesn't really make up for the loss of Bobby Wagner. I mean, keeping Leonard Williams was definitely the right move, but giving him $64.5 million over 3 years was still an overpay. I mean, come on, giving up a third-round pick for Sam Howell was certainly a choice. Number 22, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 15. They landed the big fish in Jim Harbaugh, but the roster moves up to this point suggest that the Bolts wish to participate in a bit of a rebuild. They traded Keenan Allen to the Bears for a minimal return and cut Mike Williams. Austin Eckler was let go as well and replaced by Gus Edwards. Justin Herbert is a top 10 QB in the game, but we're a little worried about this current supporting cast. Number 21, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 20. The Saints cut Michael Thomas and Marcus May in cap-saving moves. With limited cap space, they still managed to bring in former Commanders and 49ers standout edge rusher Chase Young on a one-year deal. I mean, given their cap situation, we'd say the New Orleans roster could be in much worse shape. Number 20, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 22. GM Chris Ballard managed to retain top wideout Michael Pittman Jr., cornerback Kenny Moore, and defensive tackle Grover Stewart on multi-year deals. That's enough to call the offseason a win thus far. Obviously, the Colts' fortunes in 2024 come down to the health of Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. If they are healthy, then this team will be ready for takeoff. Number 19, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 23. Justin Fields is gone, all but confirming that the Bears are taking Caleb Williams first overall. Oh, and how about that trade for ex-Chargers star Keenan Allen? The signings of RB DeAndre Swift and tight end Gerald Everett. Sending superstar corner Jalen Johnson, then signing former All-Pro safety Kevin Byard to bolster that secondary? Yeah, Ryan Poles has aced the offseason thus far. Number 18, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 12. The Rams dropped 6 spots because of one simple reason. That's right, Aaron Donald's retirement. There's no way of sugarcoating it. This team is already considerably worse without the NFL's greatest defensive player since Lawrence Taylor. On the bright side, bringing in ex-Lions guard Jonah Jackson was a coup by Les Snead. Bringing in Cameron Curl and old friend Darius Williams will bolster the secondary aplenty too. Number 17, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 19. Out go Calvin Ridley, Darius Williams, and Rayshon Jenkins. In come Gabe Davis, Eric Armstead, Mitch Morse, Devin Duvernay, and Darnell Savage. And after a roller coaster tenure in Buffalo, maybe Davis is finally ready to break out. Stay tuned. Number 16, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 14. The Bucs accomplished their 2 main offseason goals by extending Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans to multi-year deals. But are the reigning NFC South champs that much better now than last season? They traded Carlton Davis and let Shaq Barrett walk. The offense shouldn't miss a beat, but there are some question marks all over Todd Bowles' defense right now. Number 15, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 25. The Falcons signing of Kirk Cousins makes them one of the premier offseason winners here. All they've been lacking these last 2 years is competent QB play. There's no telling how much this offense will improve with Cousins joining this star-studded defensive group. Number 14, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 17. The Steelers won 10 games last season with a QB room of Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph. Having swapped out those 3 for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, we don't think it's too early to hand Omar Khan the Executive of the Year award. Wilson had a good bounce-back year on a lousy Denver team last year, so we're confident that he can still be a quality starter for Mike Tomlin and company. Number 13, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 16. How about this for an offensive line makeover? Future Hall of Famer Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses taking over the edges of the O-line, with ex-Ravens standout John Simpson taking up the last vacancy at guard. Oh, Aaron Rodgers will be a very happy man, all right. But that's not all. How about getting ex-Charger star wideout Mike Williams on a 1-year deal? There you go. There's your number 2 receiver to complement Garrett Wilson. Number 12, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 9. Not super thrilled about Miami's offseason thus far. They let Christian Wilkins go for nothing when the franchise tag was definitely an option. All-pro corner Xavier Howard was cut in a cap-saving move, and standout guard Robert Hunt left for a 9-figure payday from Carolina. We suppose the Jordan Brooks, Shaq Barrett, Kendall Fuller, and Jordan Poyer signings were fine, but overall, the Dolphins certainly have less star power now than they did a month ago, and that is very concerning when you play in a very stacked AFC. Number 11, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 8. Tre'Davious White, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, and Mitch Morse were all cut in cap-saving moves. Star pass rusher Leonard Floyd flocked to San Francisco, and speedy wideout Gabe Davis took his talents to Jacksonville. Buffalo overpaid for first tall wideout Curtis Samuel, but maybe he'll put it all together in a Josh Allen-led offense. Make no mistake, the Bills are still a playoff team. They have a top 5 QB in Allen, but it's hard to argue that they took several steps forward in their Super Bowl quest. If anything, they have backtracked a mile. Number 10, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 8. Jerry Jones sure has an interesting definition of going all in. Apparently, that means making your roster even worse. Losing Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz on that O-line really hurts. Where's Tony Pollard's replacement? Who's replacing Dorrance Armstrong off the edge? Stephon Gilmore in the secondary. Dallas will be a playoff team again in 2024, but man, they took some big step backwards. It's really tough to comprehend Jerry's mindset right now. Number 9, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 13. It's been a fascinating offseason in Cleveland. They let Joe Flacco walk, but brought in Jameis Winston and Tyler Huntley as backups to Deshaun Watson. Andrew Berry's biggest move came via trade, landing ex-Broncos star wideout Jerry Jeudy for next to nothing. There you go. There's your ideal number 2 option to Amari Cooper, making this already potent offense all the more dangerous. Re-signing veteran edge rusher Zadarius Smith was another must for Berry. Overall, it's been a superb offseason for the Browns, who already look poised to cement themselves as a top AFC heavyweight next season. Number 8, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 11. The Packers cut ties with David Bakhtiari, Devondre Campbell, and Aaron Jones in cap-saving moves. They signed 2022 rushing champion Josh Jacobs to replace Jones and signed ex-Giant safety Xavier McKinney to a lucrative $68 million deal. It feels likely that the Pack will probably use their early round selections on a Bakhtiari replacement or another receiver. It's been a fine offseason thus far, but we all know the Packers' 2024 success comes down to how much Jordan Love and the young weapons can actually improve. Number 7, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 5. Cincinnati has lost more than they gained, but replacing Joe Mixon with a cheaper option in Zach Moss was a sneaky good move. Signing ex-Raven Geno Stone to round out the safety room was also a low-key crafty move. The T. Higgins situation needs to be resolved. If he's traded, Cincy better use a first-round pick on a receiver. But the bottom line is that if Joe Burrow is healthy, the Bengals are gonna remain a Super Bowl contender. Number 6, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 10. The Eagles have been very fun this offseason too. Saquon Barkley and Bryce Huff were signed to lucrative deals, and old friend CJ Gardner-Johnson was brought back after a 1-year stay in Detroit. The Eagles also surprised everyone by trading for Steelers QB Kenny Pickett. Fascinating to be sure, since he won't see much playing time behind Jalen Hurts. Losing Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox to retirement is very tough, but the Eagles have enough young talent to get by. And the draft, where Howie Roseman does his best work, is still yet to come. Number 5, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 6. The Texans signed 4-time Pro Bowler Danielle Hunter to team up with rising superstar Will Anderson Jr. They added ex-Titan Danico Autry as well to bolster the pass rush. And Nick Casario got 4-time Pro Bowler Joe Mixon from Cincy for pennies. Houston also dealt its first-round pick to Minnesota to secure 2 second-round picks. Makes you wonder if the Texans are planning another big thing at the draft. Number 4, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 3. Losing Geno Stone, Tyus Bowser, Jadeveon Clowney, and Patrick Queen on defense is definitely worrisome. And this was before DC Mike McDonald left for the Seahawks coaching vacancy. How's that O-line supposed to improve with John Simpson and Morgan Moses both bolting for the Jets? Listen, we love the Derrick Henry signing, but the Ravens have limited resources to fill those defensive holes. Oh well, Lamar Jackson and Jim Harbaugh will ensure that these guys don't miss much of a beat. They are still going to be a Super Bowl contender regardless of what's done between now and Week 1. Number 3, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 4. The Lions addressed their main need at corner by trading for Bucs ball-hawking specialist Carlton Davis. The Lions' biggest splash thus far, though, signing run-stopping force DJ Reader to a 2-year deal. If they can add one more premier defensive back, Dan Campbell's squad may emerge as the team to beat over San Fran. Just saying. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 2. The 49ers' main focus has been reshaping the defensive line. Gone are Eric Armstead, Cleveland Farrell, Javon Kinlaw, and Chase Young. In come Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Jordan Elliott, and Yetur Gross-Matos. The reigning NFC champs only needed minimal changes and nothing drastic. And with the draft just around the corner, John Lynch has plenty of opportunity to strengthen an already loaded roster. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 1. Well, they managed to extend franchise cornerstone Chris Jones long-term, and the other big moves were signing ex-Ravens and Cardinals receiver Hollywood Brown to a cheap 1-year deal, giving Patrick Mahomes another playmaking weapon. So, in short, there's nothing to tell us that KC is not the team to beat. But what changes would you make to our post-free agency edition of the Power Rankings? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.